Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So a whole lot of stuff going on in the Walking Dead universe right now, so I'm going to try and cover it all in this video, starting with the TV spinoff. It was just ordered to pilot. AMC just officially greenlit Robert Kirkman's Walking Dead spinoff. So I'm going to do a big update on what's going on with that and what the status is. I know a lot of you want to know what it's all about and why they're even making a spinoff to begin with. And Norman Reedus posted a potentially spoilery Daryl image to Facebook and Twitter yesterday, so after the spinoff talk, I'll explain what that was all about. Hint, it's technically not really a spoiler, he's mostly just having some fun. So don't worry, no need to freak out, Norman Reedus isn't spoiling Season 5 or anything, but if you're just finding me for the first time, I'm going to be doing weekly Season 5 videos, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. I'm even going to be doing a weekly giveaway, so I might give some game codes away, it might be some gift certificates. But important stuff first. WTF is the spinoff, and why have they not been talking about it more? The spinoff is going to be a completely different group of characters, not in or around the places featured on the main TV show right now. So no Georgia, no Washington, no Terminus. Presumably it'll be somewhere in the United States. You know, they could shoot the show in Vancouver as a way to save money. Some TV shows do that. But essentially, most Walking Dead stories take place in the United States. The idea of a Walking Dead show taking place in Europe or China would be pretty freaking cool though, but typically shows like that, big shows, especially like Breaking Bad, get their rights sold in foreign countries, and then those foreign countries have production companies that make their own versions of the show with their own characters. Breaking Bad is the best example because they're making a Spanish language version. It's basically all the same stories, just with Spanish characters in Spanish. It's not dubbed or anything. So if you ever wanted to see what's happening in South America right now in the Walking Dead universe, that would probably be the way it would happen. Like they would sell the rights in a foreign country and then make another show based on the original episodes of Walking Dead, but with new actors doing it in their native languages. I know it sounds weird, but that's just the way it happens in TV. But as of right now, the spinoff just got greenlit for a pilot, meaning AMC is going to pay $4 or $5 million for them to produce a 1 or 2 hour pilot episode. AMC will then either decide to order it to series and they'll start shooting episodes, or they'll pass on it and try again for another spinoff in a couple years. Walking Dead is like far and away the most popular show AMC has ever had, and it's the most popular show on cable right now, so they really do want more Walking Dead if they can get it. There have been a lot of rumors about when the story is going to take place. The biggest theory is that it would cover the time leading up to the virus outbreak. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it's one of the better theories. It's more than likely that Robert Kirkman, who's actually working on it himself, will try to capitalize on all the best things that people love about Walking Dead. And it's not really a show about an outbreak, it's more about survivors trying to live in the fallout. That just makes me feel like any other Walking Dead spinoff would be other characters like that. They're not going to make like a Walking Dead procedural. That would be more like World War Z, with everyone dealing with the outbreak. I think it's much more interesting to see the aftermath. The Walking Dead Telltale game is a really good example of this. You know, it takes place concurrently with the comics, but it's a completely different group of people, and it's been amazingly popular. I think it's given them a lot of confidence for telling other stories inside that universe. Here's a big question for you guys though. Let me know in the comments. If it had to take place in the United States, where would you want the spinoff to be? In a big city or in like another rural area like Macon, Georgia, where Terminus is supposed to be? Or do you totally not care at all? There's this really weird thing I've noticed in the fandom where it's like the most popular show on cable and has this amazing comics and video game empire now, but there's like a core group of people that just absolutely hate Walking Dead. Like they think it's totally jumped the shark. Right now it's more popular than Game of Thrones, but because Game of Thrones is on HBO and it's a premium cable channel, it's not really a fair fight just because you have to pay like $10 extra per month to get HBO. But let me know where you fall on the spectrum. Do you still love the show, or are you starting to get tired of it? Personally, I bought my ticket and I'm going to ride the train all the way to Hogwarts or Terminus or wherever you think the show is going to end. I'm of the opinion that when it does end though, it's going to be more ambiguous. Like a few of the characters will just trudge on into the distance and try to keep surviving. I don't think they'll ever find a cure to the virus. I mean, that's not what the show is about. It's all about surviving to the last breath. Surviving with machine guns, that is. The interesting thing about that is that they have to run out of bullets at some point. I mean, this isn't a Rambo movie where you have unlimited ammo. Speaking of unlimited ammo, Daryl and his crossbow were spotted on set. Norman Reedus posted a picture that teases something from the comics, but really I think it's just a misdirect. I don't think he'd ever do something so careless or stupid as to spoil a big reveal. Like actors on shows are pretty good about that. So I'll be talking about Daryl a lot now, but just to talk about these images he posted, potential spoiler warning, I'll just leave the spoiler tag up and you can just skip till you don't see it anymore. Everybody ready? Okay, here we go. So Norman Reedus posted a couple images with Greg Nicotero on set. The first one of, Nicotero holding his hand said, "I said yes," as in, Nicotero was proposing to him. And then in another picture, there's a hand on the ground with a caption that reads, "Divorced." Notice the wedding ring on that hand. It just implies that Daryl got his hand chopped off. Obviously, everyone went crazy because of what happened in the comics with another big character getting their hand chopped off, but really, when you look at the images, that's not the case. And when you look at the first picture, this one, it's a different hand than the one on the ground here, so clearly he is just messing with us. Just to repeat, no, I do not think Daryl is going to get his hand chopped off. I don't remember him ever wearing a wedding ring, and they're not going to maim one of the main characters unless they intend to kill them off. That's a lot of extra energy every day to get a character ready to shoot, especially for the next couple seasons, because I don't think Daryl's going to die anytime soon. Herschel is a good exception to that. They chopped his leg off. I think it made sense for that character because he's not like this feral warrior that the other characters are, like Rick and Daryl are supposed to be in Season 5. Season 5 is all about action, at least the first 8 episodes. So yes, someone's going to get their hand chopped off, but I don't think it's going to be Rick or Daryl. What I do think is going to happen is some random person will get it chopped off, and it'll be the show's way of winking at the comic books without having to go through the burden of writing around a character having a missing hand for the next 3 seasons. Okay, so spoilers over, but if we actually look at the trailer, there's actually this shot of Carl with an eye patch. I think that's just another, wink at the camera. I don't think any big maimings are going to be happening to the big characters in the show. There have been a lot of rumors about one of them maybe dying, but at this point, the show has diverged so much from the comics, I try not to make huge predictions based on comic book happenings. I think Father Gabriel is probably one of the bigger things from the comic books that's going to make the leap to the show. Norman Reedus just spent a whole lot of time talking about Daryl in Season 5. I feel like he was one of the most interesting characters in Season 4. Maybe a lot of you guys have felt like he's been one of the most interesting characters, period, since he came on the show, but I feel like Season 4 was a big change for him. He was saying that Season 5 Daryl is basically going to be a lot more like a feral cat. Like a feral cat with a giant weapon. That just sounds like so much fun. It's really interesting to see how his characters developed from Season 1. Originally he was kind of like this navel-gazing outsider, and now he's really like a fully formed human being that's part of a group. I feel like Rick retook the leadership role right in that finale episode, but it almost felt like because of Season 4 Farmer Rick, Daryl was stepping up to be the new prison leader, even though technically they did have the committee. It's really interesting to watch the old Daryl episodes when he was still with Merle, and then watch that Beth episode where he kind of explains his childhood. It really explains a lot about why he is the way he is. He had the typical shitty upbringing like a lot of children of abuse, and didn't turn into the happiest, most social of people. And in a way, I think the apocalypse has actually been really good to him, better to him than a lot of the other characters. In order to survive, he's had to learn how to trust people and how to be part of a group. He still shrugs his way through conversations, but I really do think he feels like Rick's brother. I think he totally believed Rick whenever they had that talk the morning after the big WTF claimers scene in the finale. I don't think Rick has replaced Merle or anything like that, but I do feel like Daryl feels like the survivors are his family and his friends now. He's not like that navel-gazing, grumpy person from Season 1. I think watching him learn to become a normal human has been half the fun of the character. The crossbow really does do it for me too. The crossbow is where a lot of that fun is. I think a lot of his character development is going to stall out for the first half of the season just because it's going to be all about escaping Terminus and making the way to Washington, D.C. I actually thought they were going to wait till Season 6 to head to Washington, but it seems like that might be happening a lot sooner. So Daryl's arc in Season 5, or at least the first half, isn't going to be so much about integrating with the group. It's going to be more like Rick's, just a lot of ass kicking for the next 8 episodes. I think whenever he lost Beth, he kind of stalled out emotionally. Had she not been taken, he probably just would have continued to open up and start smiling more, and be like a normal human being. Remember what he looked like whenever the claimers found him? He was just slumped down in the middle of the road in that pile of fail. It was like he regressed completely. That's why I feel like the whole shit show at Terminus is going to jumpstart him in a big way. Like Norman Reedus said, you stick him in a train car, he's going to turn into a feral cat. And what happens when you open the door? He just jumps out with his claws. In this case, obviously, claws being bullets. Although, who knows, he could claw someone's eyes out. That would be pretty badass. I think overall, the thing that I'm most looking forward to from Daryl in Season 5 right now is the reunion with Beth. I feel like he'll finally get some closure on what happened in Season 4 and get to continue the path to becoming a normal human. I don't think that's going to happen for a long time. It's kind of implied that Beth's story is going to be like a side story inside the Walking Dead universe for at least the first half of the season. But now's your turn. Let me know in the comments below, what are you most excited to see Daryl do in Season 5? Besides kill a ton of people with the crossbow. I'm probably not going to do a Q&A video for this just because of Korra and Doctor Who this weekend, but now that we are getting closer to the season 5 premiere, I'll probably start doing more bonus videos, so feel free to leave me suggestions for things that you guys want to talk about. My next bonus video will probably post next Friday. Be sure to subscribe to get it. I'll probably start doing some character videos, either like Rick, Carl, Michonne, but feel free to leave me suggestions. In the meantime, click here to get my breakdown of the season 5 trailer, and click here to learn more about some of the new characters in season 5. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tonight. High fives.